Hello everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Grade 11 English. In the past few episodes for Unit 11, we looked at a few vocabulary items, we looked at the grammar, we looked at the reading, the writing, and the translation. This episode, we're going to be looking at a few more vocabulary items, as well as the reading comprehension and the summary making. Are you ready? Let's go. So, like I did before, okay, I'm going to give you a picture with a few words right under it, and what I want you to do is choose the best word that corresponds with the picture. Are you ready? So, I have a picture of someone who's cutting down a tree. So when someone cuts down a tree, what is he doing? It is fell. Very good. So fell is a verb, and what it is, it means to cut down a tree. So for example, you need a strong axe to fell a tree, which means to cut a tree. So you need a strong axe to fell a tree. Did you get that one? Let's look at the next one. So we have some sort of a lion and a tiger. This is actually a real animal. It's called a liger. So when two animals mix, what is that? You have a hybrid. Very good. So hybrid is a noun, and it is the offspring of two plants or animals of different species or varieties. So like the example we have in the picture, we have a lion and we have a tiger. They are different species, okay? But they mix to bring the liger. So for example, ligers are hybrid animals. They are a mix between lions and tigers. Did you get that one? Let's look at the next. So, did you get that one? Were you able to guess it? It is, of course, kidnap. So kidnap is a verb, okay? And it means to take someone away illegally or by force. So for example, the police caught the man who tried to kidnap the little boy. Did you get that one? I'm sure you did. It's pretty easy. Let's look at the next word. So total, in total. So what is the word that best describes in total? It is, of course, overall. Overall is an adjective and it means in total. So for example, overall, the grades of the class were high. So in total, the grades of the class were high. Did you get that one? I'm sure you did. Let's look at the other question, or the other picture. So we have a bee. He's very angry. So when bees are angry, what do? They sting. Very good. So the word sting is a verb, and it means to feel or cause a sharp tingling or burning pain. So for example, you need to wear protective clothing when handling bees or they will sting you. I'm sure you got that one. That's pretty easy. Let's look at the next one. So we have an elephant and he's like balancing himself on the ball. So when you balance yourself, are you able to keep it or not? Is the elephant able to keep the balance? Yes, he is. When he is able to keep the balance, it is sustainable. Sustainable is an adjective, and it is able to be maintained at a certain rate or level. So you're able to keep the level the same. It is sustainable, okay? So for example, for a sustainable development, countries should vary their sources of income. Did you get that one? It was pretty difficult, right? Let's look at the next one. Come on, this is very easy. I'm sure you got it. I'm sure you got it. It is, of course, toenail. Toenail is a noun, and it is the nail at the top of each toe, okay? So for example, you should cut your toenails regularly, okay? So let's look at the next word. So we have a hunter, and he's cutting down the elephant's tusk. I gave you the word. It is, of course, Tusk. Tusk is a noun, and it is a long, pointed tooth that sticks out of the mouth of the animals like elephants. Okay, so for example, some poachers hunt elephants for their tusks. Okay, did you get that one? I'm sure you did. I gave it to you. Let's look at the next word. So we have someone who is in pain. So when you're in pain and you cannot take it, you cannot stand the pain, that pain is unbearable, of course. Unbearable is an adjective, which means not being able to be tolerated. So you can't take it anymore. You need to go see the doctor. It is unbearable. So for example, I need to go to the dentist. My toothache is unbearable. I cannot stand it anymore. I need to go to the dentist. I'm sure you got those right. They're pretty easy words. So let's look at the multiple choice questions. The trees in the forest were blank by the company to make furniture. So when you have trees, they're in the forest, they are felled. Very good, excellent. By the company to make furniture. Let's look at number 2. The team's blank performance was excellent. So the team's performance was excellent. So it's overall performance. Very good. Let's look at number 3. The parents thought their child was blank. Fortunately, he was found with the security guards. So there's a child, and the parents thought that he was kidnapped. Very good, excellent. Let's look at number 1 of the gap filling exercises. So we have fell, we have hybrid, we have unbearable, we have sustainable, we have tusk, and we have sting. Okay, so let's look at number 1. The patient said the pain was blank. He had to see the doctor. So the pain was unbearable. Excellent. Let's look at number 2. Animals like elephants and rhinos are hunted for their tusks. Very good. It's easy because of the word elephants, right? Let's look at number 3. Jellyfish they can cause allergies. So a jellyfish, what can it do to you? It can sting you. Very good. Excellent. I'm sure you got those right. So let's look at now the reading comprehension. With the reading, we looked at a few reading examples before, and now we are going to look at a new one. For the reading passage, I want you to read first the questions before reading the passage. Then I want you to read the passage carefully and thoroughly. Okay? I want you to deduce the meanings of the difficult words through the content. So deduce means guess. So I want you to guess the words from the context. Okay? Then I want you to pay attention to words like best title, synonym, antonym, meaning, or refer to. Okay? I want you to say the question in your mind as if you are trying to explain it to someone. That way you will understand the question a little bit more. I want you to take your time in reading the answers that you have. Okay? Don't go through the answers very quickly. Take your time in reading them. For the types of questions, as we said before, you have 2 types: multiple choice and productive questions. For the multiple choice, you can have options of best title or main idea. For the vocabulary, it can be synonyms. We said synonyms means it is closest to meaning. So for example, large is big. So they're not exactly the same, but they are close to each other. They are synonyms. Antonyms are opposite. So for example, tall, short. Okay? Definitions are the exact meaning. Okay? With regards to word reference, it is what does this word refer to? So I want you to read back a few sentences to know what does this word refer to. Okay? Locating information, you need to locate the exact information. It's going to be there. All you need to do is just to locate it. Okay? There's also true or false information. So they're going to give you all of these statements are true except, so they want the false. Or they're going to say all of these statements are false except, so they want the true. With the productive questions, it is 2 types, either explicit questions or implicit questions. With the explicit, the answers are there clear. With the implicit, you need to understand it. Okay, you need to understand the passage. The answer is not there clear. So for example, let's look at this reading comprehension. It's a little bit long, so I want you to read with me, okay? So, doctors say that there are several kinds of headaches. Each kind begins in a different place and needs different treatment. Some of these headaches start with a change in vision or sight. The person sees wavy lines, black dots or white spots in front of their eyes. This is a warning that a headache is coming. The headache occurs only on one side of the head. The vision is blurred and the person may vomit from the pain. These headaches are called migraines. They are more frequent in women than men. Sleep is the best cure for them. You're going to see the word like for example, them, you're going to see an underlined word and a word in bold. So I want you to pay attention to these words, okay? Because this is going to be a refer question. What does it refer to? Okay, so let's read the next one. Cluster headaches, which starts in the arteries, are called cluster headaches because they come in clusters. Clusters means groups. A cluster headache lasts only for 2 hours and then goes away. At the beginning of the cluster headache, the eyes become red and watery. There is a steady pain in the head. Men have more cluster headaches than women do. The other paragraph, the muscle headache, which starts in the neck or forehead. This is caused by tension. When the person becomes nervous about something or has a problem at work, school, or even at home, the neck and head muscles become tense. The word tense here is underlined. I want you to pay attention to that too. And the headache starts. A muscle headache starts in the morning and gets worse as the hours pass. There is a steady pin pressure and bursting feeling. Usually an aspirin doesn't help cure a muscle headache. How do doctors treat headaches? If a person has frequent headache, the doctors first has to decide what kind they are. Medicine can help, but there are other ways to treat them. The doctor asks the patient to analyze his or her daily routine. A change in diet or increase in exercise might stop the headaches. People should stay away from problems as much as they can. There is no magical medicine that cures headaches. However, doctors can help control the effects of headaches. I hope you were able to get all of that. Go back to it and read it in your own pace and try to understand it very well. Let's look at question number 1. The passage was mainly about. Here the key word is mainly. What is it about? Is it about experimental cures and treatments, researches about headaches, dangerous headaches, types of headaches and treatments? It is very easy. It is the types of headaches and treatments. Let's look at number 2. The underlined word them. I told you to pay attention to that. The word them in paragraph 1 refers to. Who does it go back to? Does it go back to the men? Does it go back to migraine headaches? Does it go back to women or white spots? If you go back to the reading passage, you will find that it is actually referring to migraine headaches. Let's look at question number 3. The antonym of the underlined word tense in paragraph 2 is. So the key word here is antonym, and we said the antonym means the opposite. So they want the opposite of the word tense. So when someone is very tense and he's very, anxious and tense, what is the opposite of tense? It is relaxed. Very good, excellent. So let's look at question number 4. The writer's primary purpose of the passage. So what is the writer's primary goal of the passage? Is it to explain to the reader the importance of taking medicine, or is it change patients' habits when dealing with their illness, or is it advise people not to neglect their mental and physical health, or is it spread awareness concerning headaches, their causes and cures? So what is the main purpose of this essay? What did they want? They wanted to, of course, spread awareness concerning headaches, their causes, and cures. Let's look at question number 5. All of the sentences are false, so they are wrong, except. All of them are wrong, except for one. It's D, very good. Aspirins are enough to treat migraine headaches. Let's look at the productive questions. So for example, number 1, what are the physical symptoms of a cluster headache? So you need to go back to a cluster headache and see what are the physical symptoms. What happens to a person physically when they have a cluster headache? You will find that the answer says the eyes become red and watery. Let's look at number 2. What is the best cure for migraines? So here I'm being very specific. I want migraines. What is the best cure? It is, of course, if you go back to it, it's going to be sleep is the best cure for migraines. Very good. So question number 3. What happens when a person becomes nervous about something? So when they're very nervous about something, what happens? The neck and the head muscles become tense and the headache starts. It is in that passage, it is in that paragraph. So go back to it, okay? Question number 4. According to paragraph 4, how does a doctor start to treat a patient's headache? So a doctor, how does he treat the patient's headache? How does he start? He starts by knowing the patient's daily activity and daily routine and other aspects of their life so that they are able to determine which kind is it, right? Let's look at the last question, question number 5. What can doctors do to cure headaches? What can they do to cure the headaches? Doctors can help control the effects of headaches as there is no magical medicine to it. I'm sure you were able to get all these answers. Go back to the reading passage, read it at your own pace, and try to answer these questions by yourself before looking at the answers that I gave you. Okay? Now let's look at the summary making. With the summary, okay, I have a passage and I have a question. I want you to answer that question and summarize the passage at the same time in answer to the question. Okay? You're going to find 5, or usually you're going to find 5 answers. Choose 4. Okay? Try to change the sentences a bit and connect them using first, second, third, and finally. Okay? So let's look at the summary. The question is, what are the disadvantages of technology in the field of education? So if we look at the passage, we are living in a world where technology almost surpassed humanity. Don't you think it makes learners lazy day by day? They are becoming dependent on technology for their assignments rather than using their brains for the thought process. As humans are not error-free, similarly, technology too does not come error-free. There are lots of problems like server error and connectivity problems which take a lot of time to troubleshoot it. Cheating is an illegal activity, but technology made it easier to be done. Therefore, we should be careful when using technology. I want you to choose 4 disadvantages of technology and blend them together in one sentence. So, the first answer is this. They are becoming dependent on technology for their assignments instead of using their brains. The other one is technology is not error-free. It has problems. Number 4, there are problems like server problems and connection problems. And finally, technology made cheating a little bit easier, okay? So if we try to put them in one sentence, or in sentences, we find, for example, first, learners depend on technology more than their brains. See how I changed it. Number 2, technology is not perfect, it can cause mistakes. I also changed it. Number 3, third, connection and server problems can take up learning time. And number 4, technology has made it easier for learners to cheat. When I put them all together, okay, you can see this paragraph right in front of you, and this is how I want this paragraph to be. I want 4 answers. In summary, we looked at a few vocabulary items, we looked at the reading comprehension, and we looked at how to summarize. When summarizing, make sure you change the sentences. Don't take it word for word, change it a little bit in your own words, okay? I hope that you have benefited from all of the lessons that we have given you, and I hope that you were able to understand everything that we've given you. Repeat these episodes more than once to get the ideas, and I wish you the best of luck.